What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to start breaking down what needs to be done to the BMW. Thank you for joining us. And if you're new to the channel, we do weekly updates on how-tos on vehicles like our Track RTR Spec 2, our Drift BMW, and our street truck F-150. Now, we also do Thursday videos in which we kind of show you the behind the scenes of things that I do with RTR and things that I do when I'm on the road or how we have fun with these cars. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos, and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because I know you're going to like it. So like I've said in several of my other videos, this car here, it is my personal car. I'm not gifted anything by RTR. So everything I do to it, I have to pay for. And these parts aren't always cheap, but we've done the best that we can to keep everything cost affordable. But we've now gotten to that point where we need to finish painting up the front end. We need to get new headlights. Those things brand new are like $1,200 each. And then we need to finish up the interior and get the wide body on here. So we need to start generating a little bit more cash flow. And I've almost sold out of all of my Mustang parts outside of, you can see an intake back there. I think I got some parts up here, suspension parts, some RTR suspension parts over there. But we need to start generating some money. So that means that we need to get to work on our BMW drift car, get this thing up and running, looking pretty, maybe take it out for a couple runs and then get this thing sold. Since we brought this thing back to the garage, you can see that it's I don't want to say kind of, it's definitely gotten neglected. It is being used to house all sorts of stuff. I've shoved parts underneath it, parts on top of it. This is where my hood for the Mustang before I brought it over here was sitting. I got a front bumper back there and then the remainder of my RTR parts that are left to go on here. So we need to get this thing cleaned off and see what we can do about making her look pretty again. Now that we got it semi-clean, we need to go through and assess everything that needs to be done to this car. Right now, we do have a flat tire here. We've aired this one up a few times and it keeps going flat. I don't know if there's a nail in it or something. These ones seem to be okay. Ooh, it's definitely got some camber on it. Back here, everything seems to be doing fairly good. We aired up this tire back here and everything stayed. As you can see, the paint is more than a little jacked. It used to be this shade of blue. I don't know if you can see it. It almost looks black on the screen, but it was blue. Oh, well, right here on the bumper. It used to be this color. I know Drew had went through and done a layer of primer on it because he was planning on painting it. I don't know if he fully scuffed it up. Maybe not. It may have just got laid down over it. I would like to paint this thing. I don't know what color. Probably like a gray, maybe a leadfoot gray or a destroyer gray. I just think keep it simple, nothing crazy. It was a color we kind of did on the previous drift car, so maybe do something like that. Part of me thinks we should do a body kit on it and make a little bit more money off it, keep it looking cool, but I don't know. I really need to see what the value of these cars are before we start putting too much money into it. Headlights definitely need to be cleaned up. As you can see, they're starting to cloud over. We have the new badges for the front and back. A windshield is cracked. Probably not going to replace this. I know when I replaced the windshield on the F-150, that was almost $300, which isn't like crazy expensive, but I mean, it's a crack in a windshield on what's going to be a drift car, so who really cares? In the trunk, which we can't get to, it's a mess. There's a bunch of stuff back there. On the inside, the interior, she's looking pretty rough. Some of the stuff has been taken out because I know that Drew was planning on getting it to use this as a drift car, and then plans changed. After it refused to go into gear for him, I think he just kind of gave up on it. We might try and do a refresh, see if we can find some cheap BMW seats or maybe just put in a couple of race seats in here and finish gutting it out. Or perhaps we'll just try and clean up what we have back here since the rear seats don't really seem too bad, and then just put in a couple of race seats there and clean up the interior a little bit. As you can see, this kind of became a catch-all for everything. We got tools, parts, envelopes, maybe some discarded mail in here. So this thing was just became a little junk pile. I tried to pull the lever to pop the hood, but it doesn't seem, oh, there we go. All I had to do was tug on it a little bit. That's what she said. How do you get this up? It's not what she said. Hold on. Give me a second to find out how to do this. All right, I got the hood up. These shocks are pretty much trash, though. So maybe we'll change those out. Again, it's going to be a drift car, so who knows? There's this weird-looking meshed together intake with, yeah, that looks jacked up. That should probably get replaced. The engine has been running strong, so I don't really think we're going to do much of that. We'll probably just keep it the way it is, do an oil change, do a refresh on some of the fluids, and just kind of go from there. The dash is digital, and the car is dead right now. We need to get a new battery. It keeps dying on us. But I don't remember how many miles on here. I'm pretty sure it's over 100,000, but that's not going to be really bad because I know these things run pretty good well past that. So I'm not really worried about that. I would like to know how many miles are on it. This here was traded. I think, what did Drew trade? I think he had a truck and he traded the person the truck for this, just like straight up trade, and some car parts. And that's how he ended up with his BMW. He has done some stuff to this. I don't know if we'll be able to see it through here. Most likely not, because these rims are really little and the brakes are in the way. But in there, he has put on a suspension. He got the suspension off of eBay. So it's some eBay coilovers on this. Not really sure what brand they are. I'm going to see him later, so I'll find out. And he has gotten some other parts for this. So we have these rear lower control arms that we're going to be putting on. He's got some new badges here for the front and rear. Looks like maybe it's like some faux carbon fiber. And then we have these rear brake calipers. Those, I believe he said, were off of an M3. If any of you watched our BMW video when we first got this thing, we started working on it, we did already do the rear brake caliper setup. So everything's in place. We just need to mount those, put them onto the calipers, and get them ready to rock. And I'm pretty sure I gave Drew one of these, but I can't remember for sure. But here we have a nonstop tuning pass-through hydraulic e-brake, so we'll probably be putting that in there since we're doing the rear caliper setup anyway, and our plan is to see if we can sell this to a drifter. That'll come in handy. We'll be able to give it a couple rips hopefully, and everything will work good. Drew did the research on this, so this is the brake calipers a lot of people use when they set them up. Having Chelsea DeNova as a resource to me has kind of helped me out a little bit because I've been able to ask him things that we should do to this vehicle. He has said put a good racing seat in it. If we want to, we can put a hydro in there, which we have. And he'd also suggested that it be a pass-through. So we have that. We also need to work on getting the clutch and the throwout fixed. Chelsea told me that there's a fitting in there that tends to wear away, that comes stock from BMW, that needs to be replaced with a brass fitting because he says over time it begins to wear down and your clutch pedal will get closer and closer and closer to the floor until where you have that thing completely mashed and it will not engage. So that may be what's going on with this. Drew is gonna... Okay. Somebody's trying to get rowdy in their car. So Drew has told me he's found a throwout bearing and a whole setup he can get for like 20, 30 bucks. So we may just do that anyway, just to be sure. And we'll go from there. I believe we do have an extra set of rims to go with this as well. I think he may have said it's another set of those or a completely different set. I can't remember. He just said that it's a different set of BMW wheels that he knows a lot of people like to get to go with these. So we'll see if we can get those on the car. But down in the comments, let me know what you want to see us do with this car. Do you want to see us do a full body kit and everything on this, make it look choice, a little M3-ish? Get this thing sold for a little higher value. If you guys have BMWs and you know what they sell for, leave that down in the comments because I definitely like to know what we could potentially get out of this if we clean it up, make it look nice. Do you want to see us take it to a track day before the year is over? Maybe we can try and do that. I don't know. I think we have a lot of options with this, but whatever we do, we want to get it knocked out fairly quick, have a little bit of fun with it, and then get it sold. That way we can continue working on this thing here, get it finished up. I would like to have this thing done before the end of the year. It's up and it's running and she's good to go. She just needs to have some body panels painted and put back in place. After this car is done, I think we're going to get started on the F-150 before we move on to the Mini. But like I said, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of that stuff because I know those builds are going to be fun because we got something special planned for the Mini. All right, that about does it for this episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.